Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Film Club Rejects podcast. Thank you so much for being rejects with us. I'm Will. That's Ethan. Uh, we got, we'll see how long this ends up going. Maybe a little bit of a shorter one today. But that's okay. We're hoping to film something a lot sooner than the last time. It's been a little bit over a month,
Yeah,
maybe a month and a half, too, since we last put something out. Uh, and with Spider Man coming out it'll be a week from today, from recording. We're hoping to put something out, hopefully no more than 2 weeks from now,
yeah,
because
for
that's
sure.
gonna be something pretty big.
Mhm.
But we got a good one for us today. So let me get to my notes here. First off, I just want to start. I think you said this in our chat offline, but this is a generational year for movies. Can we just talk about that really
Insane,
quickly? Like
insane.
we have some of the biggest movies coming out. We have, another Spider-Man movie, which I don't know if you saw this, but and we'll talk a little bit more about this coming up. Uh this new Spider-Man movie is projected to outgross No Way Home.
Yeah, yeah, which is insane. Which is
Yeah.
absolutely insane. And I think on a Marvel year like this, especially when you have an Avengers,
Yeah.
there's always a special feeling, and mixing a Nolan movie with that as well. Like it's an unbelievable time for movies, and like we're in late July right now, and we're in Odyssey week. Like Odyssey released within this last week.
Yeah.
Well, and I obviously both saw it. We'll get to that. But then yeah, Spider Man's coming out too. So like, there's two real big like check mark stopping points for films in 2026, and it's this last week of July, early August with Odyssey and Spider Man,
And then like
and then
Christmas week, right?
Christmas time when you get Doomsday, and you
Yeah.
get next Dune, and you get Doomsday. So these two, and these are very very rare. I think we started the year off really well with like Project Hail Mary, like
Yeah.
amazing year of film. You really don't get these, films and these types of years that often. I think a lot of it comes back to too, just like writer strikes. I think that
Oh
were
yeah.
still looming after COVID. That like finally in the last few years, these movies have fully been able to produce and are in production. But just an amazing year so far, so for sure.
Yeah, I mean, COVID definitely, uh, thankfully, didn't kill the
Yeah.
movie industry or the film industry, but it really did a damper on it, and we were feeling the effects of that up until we started to it crept back to maybe a little bit of normalcy, and then boom, writer strikes, and
Mhm.
we just it tanked, and I think a lot of everyone's favorite franchises kind of suffered from all of that, and honestly, that's not something that I typically think about. Is like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, the Marvel movies have sucked." And it's like, yeah, like the writing's been terrible. And it's just like, well, the writer strike was happening, and I always completely
Yeah.
forget that. But yeah, so Project Hail Mary was this year. Uh Avatar Fire and Ash was this year, which was also insanely profitable.
Mhm.
The Odyssey, Spider-Man, Doomsday, Dune, uh, a lot of other
We
movies that are coming out that are maybe a little bit smaller movies, but
we we even got Meryl Streep to break her, no sequel rule to make Devil Wears Prada too. You know.
yeah, you saw that. I didn't. We're gonna have to talk about that maybe a little
And
bit. Give me your
we
initial
got a
thoughts on
Minions
that,
movie.
but
We got a Minions movie. We got a Toy Story movie. We got a Michael Jackson biopic, which we all reviewed and talked about last
yeah,
time too. Um,
I
which is
mean,
just unbelievable.
what a
I was
year.
I was actually Will. I was having this conversation yesterday with my friend when I saw it. Let's see. He was telling me that he thinks that Doomsday will gross the most in the box office. Like
Hmm.
I know Marvel typically when it comes to that are like Endgame, Infinity War, or especially Avengers movies are like top of the list when it comes to that. It's just hard for me because I know like Odyssey is just like is amazing, and it's a Nolan movie and it's got so much hype,
Yeah.
and I don't know, it really felt like to me like the trend of everybody catching on was like Oppenheimer. When you got like Barbenheimer in 2024 and Oppenheimer's coming out,
Right.
that's when it really felt like everybody caught on to like, okay, Christopher Nolan is a generational, director, and this is a generational movement. And we need to go see this movie. And that's how like a lot of these movies feel with him now. But that's just overall, that's what my friend was telling me. He thinks that you know, Doomsday is going to actually end up outselling Odyssey at the box office, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know, man, because the Odyssey, it. I mean, it sold out its IMAX on the day they dropped the tickets within hours.
Mhm.
But I will say this is the first Avengers movie since what 2020 2019 is when Endgame came out. This is the first Avengers movie in 7 years. Uh, it's possible. We haven't
Yeah.
Avengers movies are always very popular. They always make a lot of money.
Mhm.
Um, and it's the first one that we've gotten in 7 years. It's the introduction of Doom. We got the X-Men back. We got the X-Men, we got the Avengers back, we
Fantastic
got
Four, yeah.
Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, new Avengers, I guess now. Um, Black Panther or the Wakandans. It kind of seems like this is almost gearing up to be an Infinity War level type thing. I don't know. It could absolutely, for sure. I think one thing that is going to kind of, at least for opening weekend, hurt it a little bit is that Dune is coming out on the same day.
Yeah. Hmm.
And Dune is supposed to also, we got Dune 2 like 2-3 years ago. It's much more recent. It looks insane. Uh they leave off in Dune 2 with a huge cliffhanger of, all right, we just started an intergalactic war.
Yeah.
So are people going to prioritize Dune over that? It is something that I think
Yeah,
I would.
and that could be that could be a reason why it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
I don't know.
overall, I don't know. Marvel has been in a bit of a dip recently. People have seemed to, whether you call it superhero fatigue or just Marvel hasn't been had the best track record as of the last 6 years. Uh, Whatever you may say, it's entirely possible that the Odyssey, with it being like you said, so hyped up and it's got this crazy cast,
Mhm.
and it's a Christopher Nolan movie,
Yeah.
and the film bros are gonna go crazy over Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan movies, and I am too because I love Christopher Nolan. Um, I it's really tough to say though because again, it is an Avengers movie, and it's the
Yeah.
first Avengers movie we've had
And,
in
and you never know.
6 years or 7 years. Yeah, you never really know.
I think we should put it, and that's my bad for bringing it up. But I think we should put a pin in Marvel
Yeah,
first because
I
I
agree.
do I do have some things on Marvel as well. I
Okay.
want to give it its full run because we
Yeah.
did see Odyssey. I feel like we should give Odyssey its run too. Um,
Before
I
we
think we
dive
should.
into the Odyssey, really
Yeah,
quick, if you don't mind,
no, I'm down for this.
I want to touch a real quick, what we've been watching recently. It's been a minute. You and I have both seen other movies. Um, do you want to
Mhm.
start? You want me to start?
Yeah, so I think what we should do, and I think this would be cool, is I think we should break it up into what you saw in theaters and maybe things you've seen, maybe
Ooh,
just streaming on your own.
great.
If you can
All
think
right.
about
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
I can go first. I can go first if you want to collect your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Go ahead and
Um,
go first. We'll do. Let's do this. Let's do. You do theaters. I do theaters, and then streaming. How about that?
perfect. And let's go back, dating back from May. So starting after you saw Michael. So I have my log pulled up from literally every movie I've watched since we've seen and talked about the Michael biopic.
Okay. Go ahead.
So starting it off with in theaters. So right, I saw and I saw it right after I saw Disclosure Day. So I saw that about a
Oh
week or two
yeah.
after that. So yeah, so that's Steven Spielberg, Emily Blunt, crazy movie, pretty much a doomsday type of movie. And like to be honest with you, I think that might have been like Emily Blunt's like her best performance from a movie I've seen. Like even better than The Quiet Places. I think
Really?
she was like she was amazing in that movie. And I think if there was anything great to take away from that was there's pretty cool like cinematography, but also Emily Blunt's performance was amazing. Other than that, I don't think I was wowed that much.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And
Um.
then so now you want to go one for one, and then
No.
you want to say
No. Go
okay,
ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say my list. Okay. Next, then I saw Minions and Monsters,
Okay. Yeah.
which
How was that?
actually,
I'm hearing kind of mixed reviews on that.
like it felt like the plot had a spine, and I feel like that's surprising for a Minions movie because you feel like there's just a lot of chaos and a lot of crap going on. And I don't think it was really like driven. I think like a lot of the times within the Minions movies, like it's very human driven. Like the Minions are doing this because of this person. Like this was like their own story,
Right.
and it had a lot of like old like homages to old movies and a lot of good scenes. Like really, really good. Honestly, like a really good Minions watch. Like I didn't feel like I was just brainless watching the movie, and it was obviously funny and they have the Minions twang and. Like someone on the Letterbox review, I was reading it. They said it's crazy that I'm actually starting to understand what the minions are saying now. Because like I agree too. It's like it makes it like Spanish, blah blah blah. It was good.
Yeah. One of the
Then I
things that I heard about that, not to cut you off, is that like recently the Minions movie, like the Minions or whatever it's called, it's mostly just Spanish
yeah,
now.
yeah, and it's kind of crazy. Like I'm like picking up what they're saying. Like it's really strange. You used to not be that way.
Hmm. All
So
right.
yeah, but it was cool. It was cool. Minions always do their thing. And then I saw the invite which
Oh
was
yeah.
so it's been getting a lot of steam. Yeah, getting a lot of steam. Seth Rogen, Olivia Wilde. Honestly, like a pretty good film. I think the plot loses you at a lot of times, and it's like Breakfast Club, where most of the movie, probably 95% of the movie, is all within one apartment. So it's
Mm-hmm.
one of those type of movies.
Okay.
And it is a little weird, and for those who've seen it, I don't want to say anything as a will to, but like for those who've seen it, like it's very strange. Like the plot of this movie, it's literally about a failing relationship with Seth Rogen and Olivia Wilde, who are married, and then they invite another couple over, and events assume, and the rest of the night is what happens together with them. But like a typical kind of movie like that, and like I love when people like Seth Rogen wakes up some days and remembers that he can actually act because he was very good in that movie. I think Rogen was very good. His performance is great. Of course, he found a way to smoke a J in the movie, just typical
Obviously.
Rogen.
Did he
But
do
yeah, it
his
was funny.
his typical laugh? His
Yes, yes.
All
So
right.
yeah, but people were liking it though, from what I've been seeing.
Okay. Sweet.
So that's in theaters. That's what I've been watching.
All right. Yeah. So let's see. In theaters, I went to go see Pressure. That is a
Oh,
movie
okay.
about the preparations for D-Day. The main
Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
the main
This is
character is a meteorologist with he played Moriarty in Sherlock. I can never remember his name.
Fraser, Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser's in it. He plays Eisenhower.
Hmm.
Andrew Scott is the main
Okay.
character. His name's James Stagg. He's the meteorologist. But you got Carrie Condon from F1. You got Damian Lewis from Band of Brothers.
He was
Uh,
good in that one too. I liked
yeah,
her.
yeah, she was fantastic. I think when Brendan and I talked about it, when we both had seen it finally, I think I had said, "Man, I can't wait to see her in more movies because she was amazing."
F1. Sorry to interrupt because I this is before we talked about it. F1 was in my top two of movies last year for me. Like
Oh, it was
I
great.
for some reason love that movie and great scene with her and Brad Pitt having a beer and
Yeah.
talking about racing.
Oh, it was great. I love that movie. She was fantastic. She's fantastic in this again. Brendan Fraser, keeping on with his return and comeback from to acting. It was beautiful. Really, it was a great movie. The acting was fantastic. The entire time I'm sitting there and they're talking, June 5th. We're going on June 5th. And the entire movie, I'm a history buff for those who don't know. In the entire movie, they keep saying June 5th, and I'm sitting there going, what? But that's not, but June 6th. Not
Yeah.
June 5th. What? And then they're like, well, it's either June 5th or June 14th. I was like, what happened to June 6th? And then, like, the entire movie. And then, the thing happens, and they're like, all right, we're going on June 6th. I was like, okay, I'm not an idiot. I thought I remembered that.
Mhm.
Um, so, in a lot of these movies, something happens and they're like, well, we got to do this. I'm like, all right, but that's not going to happen because, like, obviously this happens in real life. So to have a movie like second guessing myself, it's
Mhm.
it's pretty impressive. The other, I think I've only seen two movies in.
How
Oh
was
wait,
how was I was gonna say how was Fraser's Brendan Fraser's performance in that?
oh
Because
fantastic.
this seems like some type of movie where like he's gonna get thrown in for like best actor just for like this type of role.
Yeah, he was great. I think obviously General Eisenhower kind of was put in a tough place. It's not exactly the easiest place to be put in. You're the commander of the Allied forces, and you're trying to stage the world's largest amphibious landing. Um, and the weather is fighting you the entire time, and you have to answer to not just your government, but basically the government of the whole world.
Yeah.
And I think that he does a great job of portraying, Eisenhower's, the weight that is on his shoulders,
Okay.
because he's
I
sitting
get that.
here, and obviously you're going to be stressed in that situation, but the care that he shows for, it's like, men are going to die, and a
Mhm.
lot of men are going to die, but we have to do this now so that more people don't.
Yeah.
And the him sitting there, and you really get to feel that, you know General Eisenhower and Brendan Fraser both are sitting there going, like, if I could be put in any other situation and have this not happen, I would take that, but I can't.
Mm. Okay.
And just the regret for the situation that we have to be, that he's put in. And it's phenomenal. Um let's see. Did I talk about Mortal Kombat 2 last time?
No. No.
So Mortal Kombat 2, it was good. Uh, I wrote down, it's pretty much exactly what a Mortal Kombat movie should be. It's Mortal Kombat the game, but in movie form. Uh, Not a lot of plot really. It's just fighting. But it was entertaining. I liked it. Johnny Cage, the guy who plays Johnny Cage, I can't remember his name. Carl Urban.
Carl
Carl Urban
Urban,
is great.
from the boys, Billy
From the
Butcher from the
boy,
boys.
Billy Butcher's from the boys. He's also in Marvel too, and Lord of the Rings. The dude's everywhere. Um, really good. He was really good in it as Johnny Cage. The action was great. It was brutal. Um, some of the stuff didn't really make sense, but I was having a fun time with it.
I feel like
Uh,
that I feel like before we move on, I feel like the target audience for that movie's like 12 to like 19 years old.
yeah,
You know what
people
I
who
mean?
played the games for sure.
Yeah. Like if you played the game, you will love this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan and you're not really looking for a script or like a movie that's really gonna like make you think, or
Mhm.
if you're looking for a good shut your brain off and just enjoy a movie, it,
I think I'm gonna end up watching this movie to be honest.
yeah, it's good, especially if you're looking for something to watch. You're like, I just don't know what to watch, and it's like, well, it's
Yeah,
there,
just
definitely
throw
give
it
it a
on. Yeah.
watch. Yeah. um and I think the last movie that I've seen in theaters, I unfortunately didn't get to Supergirl, or Masters of the Universe, which is a little unfortunate. But the last movie I saw in theaters outside of the Odyssey was Young Washington. Uh, yeah,
Wow.
I don't know if you saw any trailers for that. It seemed like it was a very, you know, indie creation, uh, but it was very, very good.
Mhm.
Uh, the
Andy
actor
Serkis is in it. Yeah.
Andy Serkis is in it, yeah, and he's great. Ben Kingsley's in it. Um, Actually, let's just look it up because I was surprised by the amount of big name people that were in this movie. Kelsey Grammer is in it, which
Interesting.
yeah, It's the guy who plays Frasier. He plays Beast in the original X-Men movies. Um, it's
Huh.
yeah. So those three big names, I was like, man, like how big of a budget did this movie have to get Ben Kingsley, Andy Serkis, and Kelsey Grammer? Because it really didn't seem like it had, like, the rest of the people were pretty much just, no name indie actors. I say no name, but like not super popular, uh, that I had heard of, uh,
Yeah.
indie actors. But dude, it was good. It was phenomenal. The acting from William Franklin Miller, he plays George Washington, is great. Um, one of my big problems with it though is they set up a character to be kind of like a love interest of George Washington's, and it really just kind of seems like that whole storyline was just not thrown in there, but like put in there
That's kind of
just
weird.
just because it happened, right? Like, so the character ends up marrying a Fairfax and becomes Sally Fairfax, and whatever. But like, I don't know whether that happened in real life or not, but let's just assume for the sake of it did. Um, it seems like it was just put in there because it was like, well, it happened, so throw it in there, and then it's like, take a little bit of creative licensing,
Yeah.
like you have to find a good mix of like it serves the plot and it happened and it's entertaining. And I feel like it didn't really serve the plot at all because it was just like, oh, they're infatuated with each other. It looks like, maybe they could start dating or, get married or whatever. And then it's like, oh, just kidding. She's engaged to the other person. And then he gets mad and he's like, all right, now I'm mad. Now I'm going to go fight people. Now I'm mad. Now I'm going to go, do this. I'm going to leave. I'm going to fight. And then I'm going to lose because I'm mad. And I make bad decisions because I'm mad. And it's like, I get it, but like I don't know. I wanted a little bit more of a service the plot a little bit, and it just didn't happen. But that's my one real gripe with it. The rest of it,
It was good.
it was really well acted. It was good. Andy Serkis is this stuck up, pompous British general. He plays General Braddock, which if anybody from Virginia knows the town Lake Braddock or the school Lake Braddock, that's who it's named after. Uh, Continuously, the Fairfaxes. That's what Fairfax County, Virginia, is named after. Um, and no, it was good. It was good. Definitely glad that I went to go watch it. It was something that my dad wanted to watch. And I was just like, oh, it's George Washington. All right, cool. And then I was like, no, that
Look,
was that
yeah,
was a good movie. Yeah. So that's what that does it for the movie theater movies for me.
yeah. I when it comes to like offline, I can get mine pretty quick. I watched Good Will Hunting for the first time. I think I texted you guys about that.
Oh my gosh, that movie! My dad and I were just talking about that last week. That movie is
Yeah.
so good.
I had never, yeah, I hadn't seen it. I've been on a Damon kick, so I saw Good Will Hunting, which is amazing, and him and Ben Affleck just continuously make movies together, and they're best friends.
It's awesome.
Hilarious.
The it's not your fault scene kills me every time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched old horror movie. I rewatched Carrie, which is from
Oh.
1976.
Yeah, not the
Which
remake, the original.
no, the OG, amazing, amazing, great movie. Prom scene, very good OG horror from the 70s, which is
Hmm.
good. And then I actually watched this yesterday. I watched The Big Lebowski yesterday, which is
I've actually never
um,
seen The Big Lebowski.
which I had people telling me all watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. The whole movie starts off of some guy's pissing on his rug, and then the whole movie is based off of that. It's crazy. It's comedy. Um, the guy who plays he's hilarious. The guy the voice actor for Buzz Lightyear.
Tim Allen.
Yeah, no, John Goodman. I don't know why
Oh,
I always think
that's Sully.
Sully. Yeah,
Yeah.
John Goodman, hilarious. Older John Goodman is obviously from 1990s, but
St.
just
Louis
like
legend.
it's kind of stupid, but it's like a comedy crime, and like it's pretty much like a who done it, but like not a murder, but like the dude Jeff Bridges, he like finds himself like playing both sides of a mystery, which is hilarious because like usually you're following one side who's trying to catch the other, but like you're playing both sides, and it leads to like, oh, who did it in the end. So
Right.
it
Huh.
makes it, and they're always end up in the bowling alley. So it's a funny movie. I'd recommend watching that. But that's what I saw offline.
Interesting. Let's see. The only movie that I can really think of for me offline, I got around to watching Obsession. It's the first horror
Wow.
movie that I've voluntarily watched in since middle school. Um,
Wow.
I'm not a big horror guy, but dude, that movie was good.
Yeah.
It was. Have you seen it?
No, but I saw the trailer for it. My friends went to it, and they spoiled the ending for me. So I know what
Oh,
happens in the end.
yeah. It's disturbing. It
Mhm.
was it really like maybe yeah, it just like I don't know, it like weirded me out the entire time, which that's the point of it, right? Is the main character uh or the main character has a love interest and you know gets a 80s like toy that he doesn't think it's going to work and just goes, "Oh, I wish she would, love me more than anything else or anyone in the entire world." And oh, spoiler, it works, shocker. And then she just becomes this psychomaniac thing and
Mhm.
I mean, it's unsettling. I was unsettled the entire time. Um but boy was that a good movie.
Mhm.
Uh yeah, is that it? I think that's it
That's
for me.
okay. If
Yeah, I
that's
think
okay
that's
if
it.
you don't online.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
okay.
more of a TV and sports guy, really.
TV, and honestly, the experience of seeing a movie in theaters is good. I thought we'd share that. Okay,
Dude,
that's cool.
I couldn't imagine watching Obsession in the movie theaters. I was watching it in broad daylight and I was
Um,
not having a good time. Watching that in a dark theater would not be fun.
yeah, horrifying. I feel like that like naturally transitions us into our, the big shebang
Oh yeah. Yeah,
when it
yeah.
comes to what we're here for, and that is the Odyssey. So I got to ask before we get into it,
Mhm.
how did you watch the Odyssey? Because it was very, I know people were very very critical about how to be in 70 or IMAX.
Yeah,
How did you
so
see it?
I tried to go watch it in IMAX. I was watching it with my dad. We watched it on Sunday. So a couple days after it came out. Um I had a lot of stuff going on beforehand. I wanted to go see it on Thursday. I couldn't go see it on Thursday, whatever. Went to go see it on Sunday. Tried to go do it on IMAX, but again, I was watching it with my dad, so I didn't have there weren't two seats next to each other in the IMAX.
Mm,
So instead I did, the next biggest screen and I went to go see it in Dolby Vision at the AMC.
okay.
And it was cool. Uh little too loud for me.
Really?
Um, because I think I think it was serviceable in some places, but the whole point of Dolby Vision, I guess, is that they like really boost the sound. And it's
Is
on a
this
bigger
Dolby Vision
screen
or
as
is
well.
this Dolby Vision or Dolby Atmos?
Ooh, I don't know. I can.
Do the seats shake?
Well, I think they shook because it was so loud, but
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I don't think it
Yeah.
was shaken because yeah, I don't think it was shaken because the seats shake. Yeah. I don't know. I honestly wouldn't have been able to tell you either way. The seats definitely shook, but again, I don't know if it was because it was so loud or if because it was just that's what the seats did. And I can tell you right here as soon as my AMC uh, starts to load up. Except it doesn't. Awesome, great. Never mind. Um, yeah,
That's okay. That's okay. If not, I was just curious.
yeah. I mean, I thought it was great. Uh, I would have liked to have seen it in 70 millimeter, but I don't think there's a 70 millimeter theater anywhere near me, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. I ended up just seeing it regular. I was at a point where I'm like, my friend was seeing spoilers on Twitter, and I was seeing spoilers. I just want to go see it
Right.
and get it over with, and then I'll go rewatch it back in IMAX. Which I understand the experience is supposed to be see it in IMAX, see it very well, but was one of those movies where I felt like I was captivated from the second it started until it ended.
Yeah.
And I always say this, but I'm not hard to please when it comes to movies. So I thought it was extremely entertaining. I think it was one of my favorite Christopher Nolan movies that I've seen.
Hmm.
From top to bottom, I think the emotion, the music, some of the scenes were amazing, and just overall really enjoyed the movie. Now, I
Not to interrupt, but it was Dolby Cinema, is what it was,
Dolby
not
Cinema,
Dolby
okay,
Atmos. Yeah.
Dolby Cinema. I think when it comes to like bullet points of points that I had, I love the siren scene when
Yeah,
Matt
that was
Damon
amazing.
when he's tied up on the pole and he says, "No, I want to hear it, but I want you to tie me up." And it was such an amazing song. There's going to be so many memes because of that. I already know, but
Oh yeah.
there are
Football
just an
season
amazing,
comes. Whew.
yeah, just an amazing, amazing scene. I love like overall and just like you get a, like a and I know that this may be why people resonate with Nolan movies so much, but you get such a genuine feel when you watch them, and you feel like I know there's no CGI, and I know that he's not adding in a lot of stuff. Like everything is very authentic. Like
Hmm.
I know it's not a crazy thing to say that it felt authentic, but it felt really authentic, and it was great to watch, and it was just like refreshing, like knowing that all those boats that where they were in the actual like place that they filmed. I know they were in like six different countries. Like
Yeah.
they really went all out for this, and like you could tell by the production that it wasn't edited, it wasn't strung together, and just like it was an absolute masterpiece visually. But yeah,
Yeah.
overall, I think those are some of the things initially that I realized.
There was there was a interview with Tom Holland. I think it was a Hot Ones video with Tom Holland and John Bernthal, where Tom Holland was talking about one of the days that they were on the beach in Morocco or wherever they were. Um, he decided he was going to go down and like be there while they were filming. He wasn't like acting or anything like that, but he was just there to watch. And so he finally gets to the beach and he sees all of these people and he's like, "All right, but like where's the crew?" Right? And then rolling and he hides behind dunes or whatever, so he's not in the shots or whatever. And then he's like, and then I just keep walking and I'm walking and I'm walking. And I'm like, where's the crew? And then finally I was like, boom. I finally get to where Matt Damon is. I'm like, oh, okay, well, there it is. Um,
Now we're there, yeah.
yeah, he's like, they're just thousands of people.
Mhm.
Um, and just some of the ways that they did. Spoiler alert for a 3,000-year-old story. The whole turning the men into pigs scene,
Oh my gosh.
ins not
Yeah.
CG at all,
No.
which insane.
Yeah.
When she comes in and like puts her hand down his throat, oh
Mhm.
dude,
I
oh
know. I'm like you're like they're eating that soup really aggressively and they're eating that soup really fast. I'm like
yeah,
there is something going on here. Like I love it. I knew nothing about the story.
oh
I
okay,
love that
awesome,
each island that they went to was just another, being, whether it be, the Cyclops, whether it be that lady, the giant men, which I saw Nolan said that they had the stunt doubles of, all this crew were, 5 feet, and then
hmm
all the giants were 7 footers. So the contrast in size was
yeah.
apparent in real life as it was in the movie. So really cool.
So okay, let me glad that you talked about the islands and stuff. Let me ask you this because this kind of ties into one of my questions. So
Mhm.
you've never read the books, you or the book, you didn't know anything about the story.
Nothing.
Um, one of the things that I had been seeing is some people maybe aren't super thrilled on the island hopping. They think it like
Yeah.
slows the pace down. Obviously you disagree though.
Mhm. Yeah, I think the island hopping, and I know there's 24 books in the actual Odyssey itself, and I know that the main action of him going home is book 9 through 12. Um, I think it does definitely. I can understand where people say that because you're like, well, damn it, just make it home. But like, I think a lot of that is extremely important to building the actual story and the rising action and the climax, which is that speech of Odysseus actually making it home, and he's talking to Penelope Anne Hathaway, and he's giving that speech about how he learned so much and how he learned that, you know, breaking Zeus's law and not abiding by that is ultimately led to his downfall and why he got stuck out there. Like they almost want, and no one almost wants you to feel like you are stuck in this movie. You are stuck in this timeline, waiting and waiting and waiting. When are we going to get this satisfying action of he's trying to get to make it back? No, okay, run to another island, run to another island. No, like you're going through that penance and that struggle with him
Right.
that he has to go through all these hoops just like we do before we can finally make it back and get to it. So I think like those who probably have a little bit of a lack of patience probably didn't like it as much. I think it helped to build that moment of finally realization when he gets back, and it was just even better
Yeah,
to me.
I completely 100% agree with you, disagree with the fact that it messes up the pacing because I think it's supposed to be that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It took 20 it's a 2-week boat ride. It took them 20 years to get home. It's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to feel like forever. And guess what? It's a 3-hour long movie. A 3-hour long movie is going to feel very long because we're
Yeah.
not used to three, two and a half, like that extra 30 minutes or that extra hour is a lot. And dude, you feel every minute of that 20 years. You know, besides the
Mm-hmm.
7 years that he's stuck on Calypso's island, um, which I have my own problems
What
with
are your
that.
thoughts on that, by the way?
I like it. You know, I think he could have done it a teensy bit better. Like I think that's like a point 0.2 off for my rating, but mostly because like you know they didn't play it they didn't play it like I felt like it should have been played, which is fine because you know it's Nolan's interpretation, not mine, and he would do this a hell of a lot better, or he did do this a hell of a lot better than I could. But you know, I've always felt like uh not Cersei, Calypso is almost immediately infatuated with Odysseus, right? And then you know it, they kind of play it off as like, well, she's trying to help him, and then guess what? No, she's not. And then like eventually she's just like it almost seems like we
I
meet
know what you're trying
them.
to say.
It almost seems like we meet them as soon as she's like, what I'm doing is wrong. I need to help him get home. And we didn't really
Yes,
get to sit with the no, she
you're right.
wants him here.
You're very right. And you're honestly making me realize that where it's like every time we flash back for the first hour and a half to 2 hours of the movie, it's them talking and it's no, stay here, eat this lotus. And then it's like, okay, we see a lot happen. Obviously, you know, he's been going and finding remnants of his boat. But all of a sudden, it's like, no, you know what? I love you and you've been here for 7 years, but it's time for me to let you go. And then he just goes. Like it's kind of like there's no, you're not really sitting with that. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like you're like it. There's no like dread or ties to him with you know whoever Charlie's whatever that is, and no ties to that. Like he just kind of is done with that and he goes home. And there's no like, okay, cool. Like I've spent 7 years with you. Like
right.
no regret, no remorse. The story moves on. Whatever. Yada yada.
And like granted, you know, I guess they kind of like explain that with like the Lotus, right? Like he doesn't remember that 7 years. Like for him, it's been
Mm-hmm.
uh, less than a week. Because
Mm-hmm.
he wakes up and he's like, "What happened?" And then it like she slowly weans him off of the
Mm-hmm.
thing. But so the story of Calypso, really quickly, just to kind of because she's also a Greek myth, right? She's not just some random lady on an island. She is a goddess. And the reason she's on the island is because in the war against the Titans, Calypso sided with the Titans to defeat the gods of Olympus, right? The Olympians. And as punishment, Zeus and the gods of Olympus stranded her on this island and cursed her to never be able to leave. Um, and then I think one of the other curses is like anybody like it's magically hidden, so no one shows up. And
Mhm.
Odysseus is the first person in millennia to show up, and then finally she's like, somebody to talk to. I'm gonna
Mhm.
keep him here forever. And then that's what's going on. And I wish we kind of just felt the desperation and the loneliness of Calypso a little bit more. Um,
I get what you mean. Yeah.
but other than that, I
Yeah, you
agree
don't get
with
that
you.
you don't get that feeling. Yeah.
No, and
There's no anchor holding those scenes in that relationship together, especially with what you're describing.
right, and again, I think he did it about as well as you could, without really explaining what I just explained. And it's a
Mhm.
3-hour movie already. You don't need another
Yeah,
15 minutes
that's
explaining
enough.
that.
Yeah,
And
yeah, for sure.
but the Cyclops scenes, every island scene, I felt like it was they are, and they cut stuff too out of the original thing. There's no floating island with the god Aeolus where he gets the wind bag.
Mhm.
You don't get the whole mutiny of opening the wind bag. Nothing like that. They miss the lotus eaters, um, before the Cyclops, so they already cut a bunch of stuff out of the books themselves. And I think that or the book itself, and I think that the way he did that while cutting stuff still portrayed just how much of a struggle it was to get back. And the entire time he's trying to get back, and we want him to get back. So the fact that it takes so long and it feels so long, we get into the same mindset as Odysseus of like, oh my god, just get home.
Mhm.
Like, I want you to get home. And he's like, yeah, hey, welcome to what Odysseus is feeling, which I
Mhm.
think was genius.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I definitely agree, and I think like the mythology and people get very stuck up on that, and I saw this, but it's what we saw was not Homer's Odyssey. That is Christopher Nolan's Odyssey, and
Oh yeah,
I obviously understand that it's sacred and it's written into history. I feel like Homer would probably be proud that somebody made and they got this much buzz for his story. Like overall, I think it was absolutely incredible. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think about any more scenes specifically that you really enjoyed. Oh, I love the Hades Underworld stuff. I think that was
yeah,
really cool.
that was
That
great.
that 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 felt like kind of the marking of like, okay, I think the crew is we know the crew's gonna die here, and he's gonna go and eventually meet up and be stuck on the island. It just how is that gonna look? What does that look
Right.
like? And I think the directing and the visuals for that felt very, 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 very like sinister and very good to me. How the underworld should be.
Oh yeah.
Like these should be fallen soldiers. And by golly, I mean, but Benny Safdie, Agamemnon, that man has so much aura, like aura farming,
Right.
aura magic,
Yeah.
insane, like insane screen presence. Didn't even say that much.
I
But
think
he
he
was all.
had like 6 lines, no, if that.
Oh yeah, that as well. The whole Trojan horse scene, the whole Trojan horse scene was very cool too.
Yeah. I
Um,
yeah. This entire movie. I think my dad and I were sitting here going, like, after the movie, just going,
mhm.
I'm just in awe. Like,
That
just on a
yeah.
filmmaking perspective.
Mhm. The whole siege, going into was that Troy?
Yeah.
Going into Troy with the horse, and they come out of it and they're running and running and running, and like obviously in the end, the end of that night ended up being the downfall of Matt Damon, and that was why he was stuck at sea, and that's where he broke Zeus's law because
You
this
present a
horse was
gift, and
it
yeah.
was presented as a gift, and it ended up being one that murdered families and ended up taking them over. And um, then we obviously saw in the end too, Athena, or what looked like Athena in the human body, gets killed. Which actually we can talk about that too, because we can talk about specific characters, but I want to talk about Zendaya and Athena in a little bit. But
Yeah, I actually
I
have a
love
question about that too
I
for
love the
you.
throwing. I love the throwing of the torch over onto his people that are on the other side of the wall, and you see all of them
Yeah,
illuminate.
it's like dead black and you see nothing
Oh
and
my
then it just
god!
explodes. You're like,
Oh my gosh! I'm like, wait, are I'm like, are those? the Greeks that are against him too. They finally get that door open, and Agamemnon is just standing there, like, oh my gosh,
Aura.
incredible,
Aura.
incredible scene,
Yeah.
absolutely incredible scene.
Um. All right. So before we get to like the whole Athena thing,
Mhm.
um, here was another thing that maybe some super history nitpickers and stuff didn't like. What do you think of the modern dialogue that was in this? Like, Telemachus says "dad" instead of "father," or like you're pining for a daddy that you didn't even know.
Yeah,
Like some of the modern,
I didn't think about that. Yeah,
it didn't bother me.
no, it didn't bother me. I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
I, I, and I understand that that's how it's going to be. I understand, but I guess people will definitely have an issue.
I yeah, I guess like they were like, well, they wouldn't have spoken like that. They would have spoken like this. I think Tom Holland had a really good retort for that because he was asked on the press tour about it too, and Tom Holland he just said, well, we say dad because that's not we say dad not father because that's how we speak now, and guess what? They wouldn't have said father either because they'd be speaking Greek. So
That's
I'm
yeah,
like,
that's
that's a
that's
good point,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. You got a point.
Yeah.
You definitely got a point. Yeah, I understand.
So it didn't
I
bother me none.
mhm,
Um.
I get you.
Oh, you got any other things? I got a couple, or I got one or two more, but
When it comes to when it comes to scenes, I think we covered the good ones. I think if the only other thing I'd want to cover too, would be more so, I guess, like talking about actors and actresses and like performances and
that actually ties into
certain
one of my
things.
questions too. Perfect.
Um, I just love how we saw Travis Scott first thing. Like that was kind of funny to me. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna win an Oscar before he wins a Grammy. Like that's hilarious. Like
did
I
you
love that.
hear Nolan talking about why he cast Travis Scott?
No, but I heard about him saying that he was very like he was a hard worker and he had a good work ethic, even though he was only there in the beginning and end.
Oh, huge. That's awesome because I think his acting was really great too, especially for someone who's not an actor. But Christopher Nolan was asked about it because I guess there was some discourse about putting black actors in there or something like that because it's a Greek
Mhm.
thing. I don't know. I and don't really care. But Christopher Nolan goes, well, the Odyssey, yeah, it's written down, but it was a collection of oral stories.
Yeah.
Before Homer wrote it down, the Odyssey existed.
Mhm.
Um, and he goes, stories were passed on audibly either through word of mouth. They were spoken.
Mhm.
Um, and you know he cast Travis Scott in there kind of as an homage to that because he was like, well, what's the modern day version of orally telling stories? Modern
Mhm.
rap is telling stories orally, essentially.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
as an homage to that, he put in his favorite rapper, and that just happened to be Travis Scott. So,
Yeah.
and I think
That's
that was that
that
was great.
him being Travis Scott being his favorite rapper is hilarious too.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
crazy.
and Travis was dedicated to it too. He didn't just show up and say his lines and he was done. Nolan said that he was there for months from 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. Like he was there all day long perfecting this and trying to do this. And I know Travis Scott was in a bunch of WWE stuff. He's trying to just widen out his portfolio, but like
Yeah, he didn't
it was
phone it
funny to
in.
me. But yeah, one performance that I wanted to talk to you about was Zendaya and Athena.
Hmm.
I didn't know what role he was really gonna have in this movie because I just didn't know much. Obviously, I know who Athena is. I read all the Percy Jacksons and all that,
Right.
so I'm very caught up with Greek mythology. Athena is like supposed to be all about like strategy, brains, smarts. Like she is the goddess, the smartest goddess
Hmm.
when it comes to Greek mythology. I just didn't feel the strong presence from her, and maybe that's not what her character was supposed to be within this story. But I just didn't really feel like how I'd imagine Athena to be was portrayed by her. She felt very passive to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Um, there's a really good like concept musical. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Epic the Musical. It's basically like six or seven different like short albums that are basically you take the Odyssey and you turn it into a musical. It's phenomenal, and Athena is very much portrayed in that how I would think of Athena being portrayed. Um, and she's one of, if not my, she's one of my, if not my favorite Greek god or goddess.
Mm,
Just because she's so cool, dude. But yeah, she does see. It seems to me very much like she should be like. So in the Odyssey, the way that the Cyclops isn't the only Cyclops on the island in the book. And when they stab Polyphemus in the eye, other Cyclops come out and they're like, "What happened? Who hurt you? Whatever."
mhm,
The way they get out of that is because when they're um, talking to Polyphemus beforehand, they ask her like, "All right, what's your name?" And Odysseus says, "My name is Nobody." So that
mm.
when the other Cyclops come back and they're like, "What happened? Who hurt? Who did this to you?" And he goes, "Well, nobody did this to me." And they're like, "Okay, then shut up, dude.
Yeah, like,
Like,
come on,
shut
so
the fuck up."
yeah,
Um,
interesting.
and in Epic the musical, I don't remember if this happens in the book or not. But Odysseus comes back and it's just basically like, "Get fucked, dude. I'm Odysseus. I'm the king of Ithaca. You just got tricked. You're an idiot," and dips. And then Athena comes back and it's like, "Why the fuck would you do that? You
Mhm.
idiot. No, actually, you know what? I'm done. Bye." Like,
Yeah, and Odysseus was Athena's champion,
yeah.
essentially, and Zeus had issues with him, but then he made peace with it, but it was just Poseidon after the Cyclops stuff was the one who was still not letting him get back. That's also the part I think was a little murky too to me, and I'd love to check history and the story about it where, he leaves, I'm gonna call it Lotus Island. He leaves Lotus Island
Hmm.
and he has this makeshift boat. And this might just be movie magic, but then he pretty much falls asleep while drifting, and Poseidon just guides him home. And he wakes up, and Athena is just like, "You're home." Like that, just like I don't know. That part was kind of just like we're just it's kind of a big part about like how he gets home. And we're kind of just like, oh, he leaves, he falls asleep in the water, and he's home. Welcome home. You know? Like, okay. But then you're so excited for him to finally be home that you don't even realize why what just happened. There was no like real context given to that. So it's nitpicking, but that's the only thing I was thinking of. Um, and last things that I'll fire off before you go ahead with your points that you have left. I loved Anne Hathaway as Penelope. I think she was great. Fantastic, played an older woman. I think the setting of that great hall that she was in and how loyal she was to Odysseus, I think it was portrayed extremely well. Um, I'm Holland. So I've never seen him act outside of Spider-Man besides Uncharted. That movie bombed.
I
Um,
liked it, but yeah.
okay, fair. I I'm not gonna say it was bad. I think it was good. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there was just like you talk so much about your dad, Odysseus, Odysseus, Odysseus. When is he going to be back? When is he going to be back? And like he's back, and then when you realize he's back, it's like I don't know if this was written that way, but like he's kind of like, okay, bro, like you're back, like your literal his whole story. He's not good at fighting. His whole story and character was built upon missing Odysseus, trying to keep his dad's legacy and name uplifted for everybody. And then his dad comes back, and he's like, okay, great, Dad. You killed all these guys in the Great Hall. I'm the king now. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Anne Hathaway, she gave us an amazing scene with that. But with him, I really felt like there
The
wasn't.
whole "I want Odysseus" scene was.
Mhm.
I mean, I have a question here. It says, "Who stole the show?" For me, I think Anne Hathaway for sure is like the
Okay.
best performance in the entire movie. I mean, just everything she does is fantastic in this movie.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
I think for me, when it comes to who stole it, I'm not gonna say he stole it, but I really like Timesh Patel. I think
oh
Timesh
yeah,
Patel,
yeah. Eurylochus, yeah, he was great.
yes, really good, and we got a lot. Like he might have gotten like third or top five in screen time in this movie. He was a huge part of this movie, and he was
Yeah,
very very good.
yeah. I mean,
I really liked him and John Bernthal was awesome. Punisher, I John Bernthal is
and
just
let me
great.
tell you something.
Fucking good. That's my friend said this. He goes, "I'm giving Odyssey 9.5 out of 10 just because John Bernthal didn't say." Now let me
Let me
tell you
tell you
something.
something. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna say it in Spider Man. I just know he is, and I can't wait. So,
That's awesome.
really quickly, I agree with you. I mean, I can't spot a bad acting performance. Everybody was top of the game. Um, but so he gets so the island that Calypso is on is called Ogygia. Um, and the way he gets off is he uses the raft, and then swims. Poseidon sinks the raft and swims, and so he swims to an island, and the king helps him. They place him on like a magic ship that brings him to Ithaca, and he wakes up in Ithaca.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so again, cutting a little bit to make a
Movie's
little
already
bit more
3 hours.
sense, and the movie's already a little long. Um, but that's how he gets back. Um, and yeah, again, I think Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, um, you know, everybody in this movie is just fantastic. Let me ask. This is the last question I have. I saw some discourse online. Um, some people, agreeing or believing that this is the case. Some people disagreeing. Um, there is a theory online that this take of the Odyssey comes with a the gods don't exist uh in this world.
Mm.
Thoughts on that? To me, I feel like there's a fairly clear answer here, but I want to get your thoughts on it.
Are you talking about like the Greek gods?
Yeah, like they don't really exist. Like Athena or Zendaya's character is a manifestation of Odysseus's guilt, basically. Like it's his own consciousness. Like the gods don't actually exist in this world. I want to get your
I think
thoughts on
it's
that, what you
I,
think.
I think it's tough to say that, and I think for two scenes specifically is where I think I disagree with those people, and I think the gods are very much present in this. One is the ocean being extremely rocky. I think that's just for a lot of people who don't know. Like, I hate to base all my knowledge off of like Percy Jackson and stuff like that, but like you know that Poseidon can control the ocean. He can control anything that's in the ocean, any of the animals, anybody who's in it, the climate, anything when it comes to the ocean, he has complete control over. Oh, this just would have went home. You know, like
Right.
he would have made it home. Like there's if that didn't matter, no storm is lasting 10 years. Like it's not bad.
Right.
It's not bad luck to just not make it home off of water, you know? Like
Right.
you'd think he'd make it home within 10 years. And I get it's a story, but that to me doesn't make sense. And then the last thing is look at the last scene when it comes to Odysseus finally makes it back. He strings the bow, which was sick. He shoots it through the axes. Huge fight breaks out. Forget who the actor was. Shiloh Fernandez kicking holes down through the
Hmm.
floor, dropping weapons, and that whole fight. As soon as that door closes and that fight starts, you can hear it too. You can hear the lightning and the thunder getting louder and louder and louder
Yeah.
and louder in the background. Like Zeus is almost like trying to help out in a way, or he's trying to make his presence in this known, where it's like this is a common place where people eat and drink. This is not where fighting should be, or where it should take place.
Right.
You are bringing this in. You're breaking Zeus's law. Shame on you for that. You know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
100% agree with you. I don't think that I don't know how you come out of this movie and go, "Oh, the gods don't exist." Just because they don't like physically show up besides Athena. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, the Mediterranean doesn't just do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not, Lake Superior. Sorry, it doesn't a hurricane doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
Um and then you couple it with Athena is there. And kind of going back to your whole thing of like when he's the trial of the bow, he comes in
Mm-hmm.
and the suitors are treating this supposed beggar awfully and all of that, and then you know I think Odysseus says something along the lines of like, but what about Zeus's law?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Robert Pattinson's character said like Zeus's like where is Zeus, or like Zeus's law doesn't apply or something like that, and then immediately after that you hear the and you're like,
Yeah.
how do you come off of that and not go, yeah, dude, Zeus is pissed,
Mm-hmm.
like,
That's what I'm saying. Like it. I don't like it. Doesn't make any sense to me. And I think anybody who doesn't or and isn't really like tapped into Greek mythology or has seen any film or any adaptation of it, like natural causes, that is the gods. It's not like you're not going to run into John Bernthal who's Zeus. You know what I mean? Like that's not how it works.
right,
It's a
exactly.
lot of natural forces. Um, but yeah, like overall, I think it was great. I love that. I love the blind guy too.
Oh yeah,
Um,
John Leguizamo's character.
Eumaeus,
Yeah.
Eumaeus. Really like great acting, and I think like he kind of encapsulates like a great like old man who still is sticks to his morals and is a great leader. I love that scene of him shutting the door when they're fighting with the suitors. Where
Hmm.
he's like, "Nope, you're too much noise." Like, no, locks the door. My
Right.
bad. That
Whoops.
that was that was awesome to me.
I got one more very quick thing. What'd you think about the dog?
Poor dog. Dog was getting kicked. That made me think about this, and that I'm so happy you asked this. This is not going to be a movie for the anti-animal cruelty crew. Not good for the anti-animal cruelty
No.
crew. Like it is, they slaughter lambs and they put their heads, their blood all around it. Like oof. Like
Yeah.
they are not going to be fans of that at all. And the dog's getting kicked. Corey Hawkins' character, dog's getting kicked.
Yeah. I
Throw the
mean,
dog outside. That dog's just laying there. His tail gets all excited when he sees Odysseus. So that's awesome.
I love how it's like, the dog is sitting there and waiting for Odysseus to come home too, and he's waiting and he's waiting and he has to see Odysseus one last time. He's ready to die, but Odysseus isn't back yet. And then the second that he comes over, he wags his tail and like drops his ears and gets pets, and then he's like, "Okay, I can rest now." And I think it's and I love how that's how Telemachus like how it clicks for him. I
Mm-hmm.
I think it's I
Mm-hmm.
think it's beautiful storytelling. I think they did that fantastically. Um, one of my favorite like little bits in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think the last thing, and I think we really haven't talked about it. Like I think the last thing that I think, and we really haven't mentioned it, but Matt Damon got his movie. He got his big movie. He got his big moment. Obviously, he's acted in a lot of very big movies, but as Anne Hathaway says, he was number one on the call sheet, and this is the blockbuster movie of 2026.
Yeah.
I think he killed it. I think he killed it. I think there are people who are very critical about the casting, and they're like, "Oh, well, other people had to have said no. Throw in Russell Crowe from 10 years." It's like, "No, like this isn't Gladiator, you know?
Right.
Throw Christian Bale in." And it's like, I don't it's a lot of, action, but it has to be a lot of sensitivity, and I think Matt Damon, I think, encapsulates that very well, where I think he can be the hardo, but he can also be the guy who is the emotional voiceover, who is trying to rally the crew and trying to show that he's like learned his lesson. Like I think sometimes Christian Bale just comes off a little more punky to me, where Matt Damon can
Yeah.
have that nice guy side to him.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And you're right. We absolutely didn't talk about this because we talked about everybody else. But I think it's a little bit easier to do that because they have a little bit
It
more of an
is.
emotional range going
Sure.
on. Um, Matt Damon in this movie is phenomenal.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think you can put anybody else in that role and have it be
Mhm.
done as well as he did it.
Mhm.
I don't know how I just don't know how you would do that
Mhm.
and how they would because that was the perfect Odysseus.
Yeah. I
Honestly,
agree. I
it
agree.
was. I mean, he was absolutely phenomenal in this movie.
Mhm.
And hopefully we're not going to know for another year, but hopefully he gets something for it at least. An Oscar,
He will be he
something.
will be he will be in the best actor for the Oscars nominations. Hands down, he will be in there.
I don't
As
know
well as I think Anne Hathaway will be in
for best
best
supporting
female supporting
actress.
actress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't going with the movies that we've seen got that's come out so far this year. I don't know who beats him. Honestly, I don't.
So yeah, so there's a lot, and I mean we can also talk about that. I feel like we should almost have, and we could do this too, where we can almost have like an Oscars pre-show where we talk about that
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
From what I've been seeing, and I didn't know if this was going to hold true, but Project Hail Mary is going to be a Best Picture nomination, and Gosling will probably get Best Actor as well.
Yeah, and I love that movie. I talked without end about how that movie has was up into that point and maybe even still now my favorite movie of the year. Um
Mhm.
he's fantastic in it. Ryan Gosling and he's acting with a puppet the entire time.
Mhm.
Um so he might beat it out. Those are the two that I could think. But I
So when it comes to Kalshi, when it comes to odds, because they always know, the Best Picture noms for who's highest percentage chance. Odyssey's at 54%, Dune Part 3 15%, Digger,
mm,
the old time movie with Tom Cruise 8%, Wild Horse 9 6, Project Hail Mary 5, The Black Ball 5, Fjord 3, The Debut 2, Elsnore Obsession 2, Adventures of Cliff Booth 1.
oh yeah, cuz Obsession came out this year.
So yeah,
Um
we still have yet to see some movies. I am nervous though that I shouldn't say nervous because it is amazing, but I think Odyssey might sweep just because of the aura around the movie.
yeah, and because it's a Christopher Nolan and let's be honest, I don't want to throw shade at the Academy or anything like that, but typically sci-fi movies and like superhero movies don't do well.
Avengers, yeah, yeah. Sadly, yeah, Avengers probably won't get too much run.
No. But
That's okay though.
yeah,
I mean, it's totally fine. Doesn't mean they're bad movies whatsoever.
no, no.
Um,
Before we get off of the Odyssey, do you want to give score out of 10?
yeah. So I absolutely love the movie. And out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 9.1. I think it is the best movie I've seen top to bottom this year. I think I grew a little bit of an emotional connection with it. And I think that point nine just leaves some of the things that we talked about, but I think overall was so good.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with all of that, and then obviously everything that we talked about, both the pluses and like the very small nitpicks. I'm giving it a 9.5.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's also, by the way, it's also very hard to make a 3 hour movie. That's James Cameron. Like it's not easy to do that.
No. Not at all. And I think, you know, Christopher Nolan's coming out here and going, nope, this is why I'm the greatest living director. Boom.
Yeah. Boom. Mic drop. Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
I hope
So
that makes. I hope that puts like Scorsese in his bag because I know he comes out and will want to do his thing, but like Scorsese needs to get his get his act together and try to compete
yeah,
with Nolan.
I don't know how you do after this though. Honestly.
Yeah, I last one he made was Killers of the Flower Moon, 2023. Yeah,
Yeah, and that didn't exactly do great.
he just grabbed Leo and thought 3 hours and 26 minutes. Jeez.
Oh God. No wonder I didn't see that movie.
Holy brutal. Wow, he's got Leo. Oh my gosh, he's made so many movies with Leo. I don't know why I'm not even realizing this.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese's basically like, I'm gonna make a movie. I'm gonna throw Leonardo DiCaprio in it.
Departed. Oh, Departed with Damon, which that's on my watch list too. Departed is what I'm going to be watching next, and other Nolan Tenet. I want to watch Tenet too.
Yeah, I need to see Tenet and The Departed.
I just keep throwing things on my watch list on Letterbox, and I'm just like, anytime somebody's like, "Let's see this," and I'm like, "Oh, I gotta watch that movie." I throw it on there. The Prestige. The Prestige is what I want to
Yeah,
watch next. And actually, Fight Club is number one. Fight Club is number one for what I want to watch.
I need to
Um,
still see. I still need to see. And don't hate me on this. I still need to see Interstellar.
that movie is so good. Oh
I
my god.
know. I know. I just haven't.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't
That was
seen it
my
yet.
favorite Nolan movie before this.
Yeah, I hear it's great. I haven't gotten around to it.
It's kind of a mind blender too. It's kind of a mind blender.
Yeah.
All right, last question I had for you, and this has been a common question I've been asking people all throughout the week. So hopefully you have a good answer for it. So we gave our ratings 9.1, 9.5 for Odyssey.
Hmm.
Amazing movie. Um, what is one movie that you hate and or dislike? Hate's a strong word. Hate's a very strong word. What's one movie that you dislike that most people love or really like?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the easy answers are the ones that I've talked about here on the podcast already. That your Avatar and it's just Pocahontas with blue people. But so I'm not going to touch too much on that. There's one, and a lot of people don't think about these kinds of movies when questions like this are asked. And that's Christmas movies. I don't like It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay.
And everybody I've ever talked to either likes it or loves it. And I'm just like,
Not with
it's
it.
so okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's fine, but even if it's on the TV, I don't think I'm watching it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get you. Um, my answers would be I have two. The first one was Animal House. So I had Animal House as mine. It's just very like frat broy, and it's like middle fingers up in the picture. Like I'm not the biggest fan
Oh,
of that. Just very fratty, and I don't.
that's
A
where we
lot of
get the
people like.
college sweater.
It's just not. It's not for me. And then the next one would be Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
So I'm not a fan of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think it's a
Really?
little. I think the plot is kind of stupid in a way.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's kind
fair.
of dumb to me. It's very like 80s and 90s. Like it's an iceberg slippery slope where one thing after another happens and things just keep getting worse and worse and worse. It's not my type of movie.
You know what? That's fair. I like it, but I also think that it might be a little overrated. But
Mhm.
there is, oh man, Dune. The first Dune is my other answer.
I'm not a big Dune fan either.
That and Wolf of Wall Street. Those are my three. I don't like Wolf of Wall Street. I respect it for what it is.
Mhm.
And the first Dune movie, I just,
Slow,
yeah,
very slow.
it's not great.
I didn't. I don't. I'm not the biggest Dune guy. I mean, that's a conversation for another day. But I will be seeing three. I need to rewatch one and two, give it a new chance because I have a kind of a more open mind now with movies like this. I
Right.
used to be only Marvel. I used to be like Marvel and that's it. Now it's a little bit more open.
Yeah. Yeah, the first Dune, like I said, it's I just don't love it. Dune 2, I really liked Dune 2. Um, but I don't even think I've like I think I left like 15 minutes of the first Dune and just haven't fully finished it ever. And I've tried multiple times. It's just I don't know. But
Interesting. Yeah.
but yeah, so those are my answers for that.
Okay.
That's a good question. And well, so uh what's a movie that you dislike that everybody else loves? Put it in the comments. We love to hear we don't get too many comments if any, but drop it
You
in the
gotta get Brendan's
comments.
answer too.
We got to get Brendan's answer. So Brendan, if you're watching this, drop it in the comment. We'll read it. Um or we'll talk about it the next time you're on, one of the two. Um so yeah, drop it in the comment. What's a movie that you don't like that everybody else does? But I think that's everything that we have,
Mhm.
as well as our time. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. Um, and go see the Odyssey if you haven't. It's fantastic.
Amazing.
Definitely go watch it. Um, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for being rejects with us. This has been the Film Club Rejects podcast. We will see you hopefully in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
will for Spider-Man. We will be getting back together, and we will be diving into Marvel when it
Yes.
comes to 2026, where we're at in the timeline, everything that needs to be happening post Spider-Man. We'll talk about Spider-Man and what that means leading into Doomsday.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much, and we will catch you next time.